Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain about Snowflake architecture. First of all, what is meant by Snowflake architecture? Here the Snowflake architecture is a hybrid of it contains shared disk and share nothing designs. Shared disk means all the data is stored in one central place, so it is easy to manage. Share nothing. Share nothing is it is running queries which works as a split across many separate computers, which works on its own part of the data. So that's why it is fast and scalable. So Snowflake combines storing data one place, it is speed and power, with using multiple computers to process the data. That's why Snowflake architecture is a hybrid, and it is a Snowflake utilizes central data repository for constant data. Snowflake uses massively parallel processing clusters for query processing. It is high performance and scalability. And Snowflake architecture contains three layers. First one, cloud services layer, query processing layer, and database storage layer. And we have to start from bottom layer, which is database storage layer. Storage layer, it will stores the table data and query result data. Whenever we insert the data into the table, the data will be stored in database storage layer only. The query result data also stored in the storage layer only. Whenever the data is loaded into the Snowflake, the data will be stored in multiple micro partitions in columnar format. The external stages to the data will be stored in Snowflake. The data will be small part into micro partitions. The data will be stored in columnar format. Snowflake manages all aspects of how this data is stored. Suppose you don't need to worry, like you don't need to select any micro partitions. By default, if you just insert any row into the Snowflake, cloud services layer will handle like data organization, file size, structure, compression, metadata, statistics. Everything will taken care by the Snowflake. The data objects stored by Snowflake are not directly visible, not accessible by customers. Suppose we have a table. We have inserted some million records into the table, but you cannot visually, you cannot see the table anywhere. If you want to see the data, we can run SQL queries only, accessible through SQL query operations. You cannot directly see these objects in databases. And we can define cluster keys on large tables for better performance. Clustering means grouping a bunch of values. It can define only large tables. It cannot define small tables. And next layer, this is the example, the logical structure and physical structure. For example, this is the data. This is the data. This is the data. This is the logical structure of a table. Suppose this table contains type, name, country, date, four fields in traditional databases. Data will be stored like this only, row-oriented databases. The data will be stored in row-wise, 2A, UK 11 by 2. This is the logical structure. And when it comes to physical structure in Snowflake, the data will be stored like this: micro partition 1, micro partition 2, micro partition 3, and micro partition 4. And suppose if you see the columns type 1, name, country, date, the data will be stored in 2A UK 11 by 2. This is one column. 4C SP 11 by 2. This is another column. But even though the logical structure is like row oriented and micro partitions in columnar format is stored in the Snowflake physical structure. But whenever you select the data from these micro partitions, you just select to start from table. It will display the logical structure only. Internally, it will be organized in the columnar format, but you can select star from the table. It will display the logical structure only. Internally organized by columnar format. This is an example of how data will be stored in the backend. And next layer is query processing layer. This is like CPU. This is the actual processing unit of Snowflake. Snowflake process query using virtual warehouses. Compute cost will be calculated on the basis of query execution time on virtual warehouses. So, whenever we run our queries, they will be running with help of virtual warehouses. This is the actual processing unit of Snowflake. Where our queries will be executed, our compute cost will be calculated. Everything will be in the query processing layer only. And so at the end of the day, the cost is very important. The cost will be calculated for each and every we are running the queries on virtual warehouses. Suppose if you are running for 30 minutes, only for the 30 minutes cost will be calculated. This cost will be calculated based on the virtual warehouses. In virtual warehouse sizes, extra small, small, large, extra large, 4x large, 5x, 6x. Based on the virtual warehouse size, cost will be calculated. Virtual warehouses are considered as the muzzle of the system, while cloud services layer is the brain of the system. It will take care for everything. Query processing layer is the muzzle of the system. So if you want to do any physical task in the query processing layer and can scale up and scale down easily. Suppose I have selected extra small warehouse and in future my data size is growing. So we have a facility like at any point of time in future, we can increase the size of the virtual warehouses. That process we call as scale up. We can scale up and scale down easily. This is the query processing layer. And the next layer is cloud services layer. Cloud services layer, this is like brain of the Snowflake architecture. Like it will maintain everything, even though data is stored in the database storage and queries will be executed by virtual warehouses. But everything should be organized by cloud services layer only, like authentication and access control, infrastructure management, metadata management, security. All these things controlled by cloud services layer only. Like all serverless tasks also snowpipe task materialized views all these things maintained by cloud services layer only. This is the cloud services layer. And snowflake architecture summary, all the instructions will be given from the cloud services layer, and those instructions will be processed by the query processing layer by using virtual warehouses. And if you run some query by using virtual warehouses, so it will scan the data or it will do some data operations in the database storage layer. This is called Snowflake architecture. Thank you.